ourselves? How do things go? What are we, what naturally arises and is gifted to not only us, but to others? I think Greg's still not on. Is that correct? Just checking in. Carrie, do you see Greg anywhere? I'm looking, I don't see it. Oh, there he is. Here we go. Greg, are you on yet?
Yes, I just came on. Sorry, I had mute on.
Yes, no problem. I saw you come in. Thank you so much. I thought, Greg, we might want to start with you this morning because I know that some people have to leave for other things, other commitments, and I want to make sure that EMC has an opportunity before our practice this morning to talk about our compassionate action progress, what we're doing. And I couldn't think of anybody better to start that conversation than you. So good morning.
Good morning. Okay. Yeah, so I think last week you all, hopefully all of you recall that we were talking about doing some things for the local Scripps Hospital. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to see if we could bring meals to the medical staff there and the support staff. And so Lisa Talamini has been carrying on some investigations in how we might do that. One of the interesting things that came out of that was that there is a restaurant in town called Good Anya that has actually already been supplying meals to Scripps. And and it turns out that the staff really likes those meals. They're very healthy meals, and it's a full lunch with a cookie or something similar plus a drink, and and it's varied. And so Lisa was able to talk to the staff there and figure out that the protocol to deliver these could easily be done if we used Good Anya, excuse me, and so we have now started to look at the timing for that, for bringing those meals. And it looks like next Friday will be our first day that we'll be able to bring meals to 3 different sections in the hospital staff, for a total staff of about 155 medical staff. And our intention is to try to be able to bring to do this for the next 4 weeks. But right at this time, it looks like we have enough funds to be able to do it for at least the next 2 weeks. We have some major donations that have come in, but we're also asking the community if you would like to assist in this. And it would be, again, like we did last year with CRC, it would be a 2-for-1 donation. So if you donate $10, there'll be $20 also donated to this cause. And so that will be in the newsletter. There should be an easy link to that. Diana, is that possible? Okay.
That is.
There should be an easy link.
Yes.
And it looks pretty exciting for us to be able to do this. And like I said, it should start next Friday. And I think we can guarantee it will start next Friday because Lisa has been able to talk to the manager there at Good Anya, and it looks like they'll be able to do that. So if there may be something else, I don't know if Lisa is on this morning because she's the one that's been, doing all of this. Lisa, if you're on, maybe you want to add something to that.
Yeah, no, I'm on. I think I just saw a question come through chat from Leanne. They're actually giving us, you know what, it's been such, I have to say, fun to do this because the hospital has been so gracious. Good Anya has been so gracious. Everything we've talked to them about, everybody went, we can do that. And what a wonderful, experience. I just have to tell you that. Talk about soaking in the good. It felt like one big soaking in the good. The meals are $12 to answer that question. And the reason I say that is a reduced amount, greatly reduced amount from what they would be if you just went in and had that combination of foods. They're willing to work with us in terms of kind of the mix with things like vegetarian and other things. They've done this before, as Greg said, so they have a little bit of a system already. So I have emails basically going in both directions between the restaurant and the hospital, so that it's going to be very, very smooth. And we can, I'm happy about, I think we will be happy about the idea that we can work with both day shift and night shift. Sometimes that isn't always possible, but they can do that. They can deliver for that as well. So it's really nice because we'll be able to help ICU, 2 West, and the ER, which are all very connected. And you think about some of the most stressful places that there are in the hospital, where we could bring a little love and nourishment. I think we can all be really excited and feel good about that.
And it's kind of a 2-for-1 because we're helping this restaurant in town, which has been actually very heavily impacted by the coronavirus, but they're still in business. So
yes, they are grateful. Yes, they are so grateful to be able to do this. They're grateful to us as well. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Back to you, Diana. I think we've covered it.
I think we've nailed it. I am so excited about this possibility. So then I want to talk for just a minute, maybe after our practice, about how do I contribute? One of the things we're looking at in our Tuesday study group, Real Change, is this reality is that we are obligated, we are responsible. It is our mission, our vision, our goodness that actually is going to change the world. And that anything other than that understanding in some way is the limitation of your own heart mind, the limitation of your own falsely believed thoughts, the limitation of your old storylines that say no matter what, things can't be well, that there can't be ease, connection, possibility in our world. We've all complained about it, haven't we all? Each one of us has complained about our country, our world, our government, our politics. But I don't want us wasting energy in complaint. It's easy to do and very ineffective. I want us to find the way to make the difference. So a few of the ways, I've thought of a few ways that you can make the difference. And I want to talk about that after we do the practice of constructing, creating within ourselves, dwelling within us, and then all around us, this circle of loving kindness, compassion, and the boundless heart that we all have experienced, and I hope we can connect with and experience that as well today. And so in that, with that thought, I wanted to read something by Joan Chittister, Sister Joan. If you haven't ever listened to Sister Joan, and I'm not sure which order, Christian contemplative order she happens to be a part of, because that's not always mattered to me. But I loved what she had to say about really what is the point of mindfulness? What is the point of paying attention? What's the point of awareness practice? Because often in our practice, particularly for me, I know, and then for you, I know, in our daily practice, we forget the point, don't we all? We go, really today? Nah, I've got all these other things I could be doing. I've got bills to pay and tasks to complete, and I've got dinner to make, and I've got this, horrible situation with the neighbor, whatever we think is most important. And it's not that those are not important, it's that we can also use those things rather than in the gifts of our own goodness, that we are attending to them. We can actually use them as distractions, can't we? We can use them as excuses, can't we? We can use them as the reason why not, rather than the exact reason why we in fact need to bring our mindfulness, our boundless hearts to each moment. And so let's look at what Sister Joan has to say here. The word contemplation we could use for practice. We could use it for mindfulness. We could use it for awareness. And we could even insert the word love. Let's think about all of that possibility. Contemplation is a very dangerous activity, isn't love? Doesn't it cost us everything? It not only brings us face to face with God, good, it brings us as well face to face with the world, face to face with the self. And then, of course, something must be done. Nothing stays the same once we have found the God good within. We carry the world in our hearts, the oppression of all peoples, the suffering of our friends, the burdens of our enemies, the raping of the earth, the hunger of the starving, the joy of every laughing child. We do not pray in order to escape the world around us. You can put the word practice right there, presence right there. We do not pray, practice, be mindful, be present in order to escape the world around us. We pray with one eye on the world so that we can come to understand what is really being asked of us here and now, at times just like this, as co-creators of the good, co-creators of the universe, co-creators of peace, ease, happiness, and well-being. This is our essential human mission, isn't it? Yes. And so let's prepare to sit. The second offering that I found meaningful was by John O'Donohue, someone that Greg and Jim and I and all of us love, around that goodness, around that beauty within us. When the mind is festering with trouble or the heart torn, we can find healing among the silence of mountains or fields, or listen to the simple, steadying rhythm of waves or our own heart. The slowness and stillness gradually takes us over. Our breathing deepens and our hearts calm and our hungers relent. When serenity is restored, new perspectives open to us and difficulty can begin to seem like an invitation, right? An invitation to the new possibility. This invitation to friendship with nature does, of course, entail a willingness to be alone out there. Yet this aloneness is anything but lonely. Solitude gradually clarifies the heart until a true tranquility is reached. The irony is that at the heart of that aloneness, you feel intimately connected with the world. There it is, intimate, connected, belonging to this world, right through that stillness. Indeed, the beauty of nature and also of us, our true nature, is often the wisest balm, for it gently relieves and releases the caged heart and mind. I will add there, the caged in us, so that we are free and most loving. And so let's reflect on those two realities, those two possibilities. As we begin to cultivate this circle of love, loving kindness, compassion, genuine care, genuine connection, it's a flak jacket against all suffering. And so just beginning by feeling the space around you, that wide open space that we can use in which to build this circle of love. Just feel into the space. Can you feel the nascent vibration and energy of liveness even there? You have made it so by your very awareness. And so we begin to take a deep breath in, touching into our own God indwelling, our own goodness, that heart that vibrates, radiates, and resonates with what we have talked about today. And with that out breath, we begin to send it out in a circle of warmth, in a circle of light. In that spacious, no end, no limit, no border, no barrier, no boundary space of kindness, care, compassion, and wisdom. We're going to create this circle of goodness, godness, contemplation, and mindfulness by first just breathing in and out of our own good hearts. We'll do this for several minutes, igniting and activating that heart of bodhicitta, that God indwelling, that goodness. And may all beings benefit, all beings everywhere without exception, omitting none, awakening us, freeing us, caring for us all. Breathing in, touching into the good heart. Breathing out, just sensing that vibrancy, that aliveness, that presence, not only within, but all around. I like to use for myself the heart-centered breath here. See what works for you. Where does the aliveness, the goodness, the godliness most connect for you? Find that place. Use it as a portal. Moving in all directions, both in and out, forward and back, left and right, above and below. Can you feel that sense of aliveness and its natural energy, its natural invitation to participate? It's calling you. Let's begin just like this then. Listening deeply. Let's see where the heart mind actually begins. Rather than place demand on yourself for breathing out some distance, I'd rather you actually just begin with your own heart, breathing into it, creating space and room and warmth and kindness right there in your own heart space. Begin the circle there. Sometimes when we breathe out, we get into pressuring, striving, demanding, forced effort. And this is not the way of this practice. We know the space is there. We know it's boundless. But we can begin. It is right to begin with our own hearts. And first we make contact. This is the first instruction of the Buddha. Know the heart as the heart. Know it by heart. Know it intimately, deeply, completely. Do not abandon yourself for some other. This is not the way. So we stay close. We stay intimate with our own breath in our own bodies, attending, intentioning, care, kindness, love, compassion for our own hearts. We do this by simply bringing the intention for the good and one's attention. This is sufficient. Don't look for a special feeling. It's not required. It's the attitude with the intention and attention that makes for the good medicine. This attitude of kindness, an attitude of genuine care and curiosity, an attitude of non-judgment, of empathy and compassion. Offer this to yourself with each in and out breath. See what's there. You may be making contact with physical sensations. This is often first on our contact list. This is good news. You're just touching in, feeling that ache, that tightness, that weariness as maybe a physical sensation. And rather than distracting, going off into that tasking, that list making, that evaluating or analyzing, let's not do any. A ridiculous waste of time. Come back directly to your own heart experience. Breathing here, staying in touch, bringing open-heartedness to your own heart. We must still the mind so that we can see clearly. And then we must sustain attention. It's not a once or twice look. We have to abide in that stillness, in that silence, in that spaciousness, to see what's actually here. As you are placing your focused attention here in the area of the heart region, the heart space, not just the physical heart, I'm noticing it radiates all the way up almost into my throat as I'm paying attention. It's useful to check in with what is being radiated. What is here? We could ask the Zen koan, what is this arising? What is this in its passing? You may notice particular thoughts or images arising that may inform this inquiry. What is this? Maybe a quick reflection on an event, an experience, a contact that may inform this quality of heart. Sometimes, as we know, we can make better contact with this by placing our own hands over our own heart space. See if that's useful for you. It invites a certain caring and a quality of attention that I think can be quite nourishing itself. In addition to the gentle and caring hands over your own heart, that caring that we're imbuing there, we can also offer these phrases, simple phrases. May I be well. May I be safe. May I have ease of being. May I remember that I and all beings belong. We're going to let that heart radiate now in that circle of love, in that circle of compassion, kindness, care, the boundless heart. Let it expand. And I'm not going to direct that expansion. See where it goes for you naturally as you open to that warmth, as you open to that radiance, as you begin to cultivate the qualities of the not only heart, but the space around the heart being imbued with this godlike goodness. Where does it go? Letting it open itself and begin to expand. I was already just telling you, I felt it moving up into the throat. I haven't felt it move downward quite yet, but that's neither problem. It's just, where does it radiate? Let it go there. Feel it. We're creating space and room in this good heart, in this circle of love, to include my hands have been included now. That's over the heart. I can feel the warmth there. I can feel the sense of care, the open hand, the open heart. I can feel it moving up through the top of my head. It's just a felt sense, and it may come in a variety of forms. One is that warmth, that sense of visual. Use whatever is available to you. How do you create this circle of love? We're just creating the space. My whole upper body has gotten included only because there's a gentle, natural, loving rock that just naturally, spontaneously happened. I'm going to let that happen. Right? Just another nourishing, nurturing act. Breathing into that expanded space. And then let it touch into your whole body if you can. You can feel care for your cold feet. And I want you to begin to use your attention now to see where you can offer and direct this good medicine, this care. I just sent it down to my cold feet. Including the whole body, sitting and breathing here. There may be parts that are achy, parts you don't like. That might be where the attention and this good heart needs to go most. If the part of the body is calling you, you can respond with love. Can we offer this to ourselves as an essential practice? Practicing this quality of heart-mind. filling, fueling, nourishing ourselves for continued practice and work, for continuing the joyful effort of offering, creating this circle of love. And then I'd like you to begin to breathe out. We're ready now, I believe, to begin breathing out. And my hands have come away from my heart only because it can feel like a block for me at times, especially on the out breath as we begin to breathe in, touch into that goodness, and breathe out, creating space and room around us. And it doesn't have to be infinite. It can be simply the space you're in. I just want you to feel a sense of that space or spaciousness. And in that circle of the open heart and that circle of love, I'd like you to begin to invite in others. Let's begin with those with whom you have experienced love, given and received. Invite them in, let them nourish and fortify this circle with their own goodness. See who comes to mind and invite them in. You may take several breaths here. My father just appeared. I have a very loving, close relationship with him, which continues this day. And he just keeps coming in. So I'm just going to keep breathing him in. Maybe it's a partner, a pet, a deity, someone who is alive or dead, someone who is maybe mythical, mystical. All arrivals are a gift. Breathe it in. And feel that felt sense, the physical felt sense that this love is here, right now. And if no one particular comes to mind, you may invite in those loving images. I just haven't had an image of the forest and the redwoods. That's a place of safety and fortitude, strength, and connection for me. I just breathed it in. You may reflect on moments of love. There is no grasping, there is no clinging, there is no wanting here. Love is enough. See if you can continue to notice that no matter what's invited in, it contributes to the good. It is an act, an experience, an event, a remembering of love. As you call each experience in, see if you can take a moment to breathe it in and feel the effects. Wake that down into the body. Let the body also vibrate and resonate this love. An act of kindness, an act of connection, an experience of generosity. A moment of goodness. Fill up the well of your own being and the space around you with this available, already existing, already present love. Remember, love can be a tricky word, so if kindness, friendliness, patience, generosity feel right, include those. They're all a part of it. Be watchful of this tendency to look for a special feeling. It may come simply as intention and attention. Let it be enough. If you notice that you're resting in this well of love, this is good news. You may need to drink from this well. If you notice that many things continue to come in, let that happen also. And we can then offer these phrases of loving kindness, compassion, care, and connection. We can offer them to all that has entered in to this expanding circle. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. May we all remember the goodness within and around us. And then we're going to begin to expand naturally as it does this good heart and this circle beyond the space we had constructed and could conceive a little more, maybe beyond our imagination. I'm going to go all the way out to the patio there in my yard, going to the front door where I hear my husband coming in, and now to the front. We're now going to be opening space beyond our normal sense of the circle of love. We're going to begin to include other things as a way of beginning to expand that circle of love. I'm going to start with my husband who just walked in to place a coffee, gifted coffee at the table. I'm going to go outside into the rain there, feeling gratitude and love and appreciation for this earth, for this rain, for the green of the trees. Something I don't often send love, but often get love. I'm moving around the circle to see what might be there. We have neighbors off to the left. I rarely talk to them. They're very good people. I'm going to include them. And so we're going to let this good heart, this boundless heart in the circle of love begin to expand and open and include what we make contact with. And then see what you notice about your own breath. I noticed as I was naming the neighbors, for example, I was breathing in and I wanted to breathe out to them. It's not necessarily required because they already here within the circle of love, but that felt just right. So if it feels like that, just let it be. Sending the good heart out and inviting them in. And as you invite each in, you can offer the phrases there. You can just do a little collection. There's no one right way. There may be a special blessing or offering. As you touch the object invited in, make sure that there's room and space. Open the heart to include and then make the offering. I just thought of my gardener, Juan, who's not here today. And I thought, oh, I want to make sure that he is well. This is the good heart. And then continuing to expand beyond those you know, beyond those you're comfortable with, beyond those in your immediate life, world, circle. Begin to open beyond that familiar. See how that works. And what happened for me, just as an example, of course, is that a whole group of people came to mind. And that group of people were the people who have made donations already, significant, meaningful donations to our Healthy Meals Project for the healthcare workers. Those who have contributed to doubling your donations. This is very meaningful. And really energizes my own sense of mine and others' good heart. And then, of course, all the healthcare workers came to mind. Carrie and Jim and Renee is just a few. I'm breathing them in, opening this circle of kindness, love, and compassion to them. Those we know. And then see if you can open and stretch beyond that to those we don't know. All the healthcare workers at Scripps and Kaiser. Take a moment there. Include them. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. May you know you are loved. Imagining that continued circle of love and light, healing, a good heart continue to expand. Maybe we could expand it all the way to all healthcare workers in San Diego County or all healthcare workers in California, all healthcare workers everywhere. See what's true for you, but it's critical that we make it real. This is not anonymous. It's got to be known, felt, intentioned. Real. Maybe there's a healthcare worker in your own family. Maybe there's a healthcare worker who has supported you. Can you include them? And of course, healthcare workers are just the example that's come to mind and is true here. It could be, again, anyone or anything. The trees around you that provide protection, shade, and a sense of refuge. Maybe it's the birds singing. Infusing, including, and then offering. And now I'd like us to extend that circle some more beyond any idea of image. It becomes imageless. We can't hold it really because it gets so large, so big. See if you can include someone with whom you've had some recent difficulties. Confusions, miscommunications, misunderstandings. maybe actual conflict, confusion, aggression, pain, or harm, but see where it's real. You can even include yourself in this category. Maybe an unskillful act that I committed, unskillful speech, unexpected or unintentional result. We can hold ourselves in this as well as another. Calling it to mind, breathing it in, creating space and room within that circle of love. Offering at least the refuge of your own awakened heart mind. This is good. And if you notice that something gets in the way, your own resistance, your own resentment, your own numbness, your own distraction, invite that in. Include it in this circle of love. And then we'll spend the last few minutes of this practice just opening beyond all bounds, including those we know, those we don't know, including ourselves, our best qualities and our worst, including others and theirs. Letting this circle of love expand out like this fine mist, moistening, nourishing, connecting and touching all things and all beings. May we all be healthy. May we all be safe. May we all have ease of being. May we remember that we are all included, all a part of this circle of love. And then for a moment, just coming back, settling back, coming back into your own body, into your own breath, into your own heart. And then feel and notice what is most alive there. Without judgments, without opinion, just resting in the noticing. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. May I remember the truth of this circle of love. And may this practice today contribute take a moment and just feel into the body, see what's needed, make that offering there. Keep that circle of love alive in you. I got lots of chat. I'm going to check that while we're stretching. Order of St. Benedict. Thank you, Jim. I did not know that's where Sister Joan was from. Order of St. Benedict. Thank you. I hope the sound was workable. I don't know either. Let me go up here and see what. Thank you, everyone, for these lovely offers and celebration of our commitment to this, really our number one practice as a group, this circle of love and this compassionate action that we are going to continue to practice, to invest in, to make real, which is what we're spending all of our time on the next several months and weeks cultivating. Kelly wrote something here, and then Annika, I want to speak a little bit to that for a moment, then we can talk about the practice. One of the ways that I think we get stuck, one of the falsely believed thoughts that we've just named in the last week on Tuesday in our first exploration of chapter 1 on real change, was this storyline, these core believed thoughts that we tend to bring to our present moments, that we make real, that we make live, because we fall into the default well of fear or pain, or the belief thought that we are not sufficient, that we cannot make a contribution today or now in some way that is meaningful or that matters. And that's that deficiency demon, I think, that can come and get us all, can't it? It's not enough. It doesn't matter. It's not going to, get on TikTok. It's not going to be chatted or go up as the banner. I don't know, some symbol clanging moment. And because we live in a world, I think, that is so filled with self-cherishing, self-preoccupation too often, it's like, well, then it doesn't matter if it's not newsworthy, if it's not right, if I don't get that many likes on Facebook over it, then what does it matter? Well, these are dangerous measures, aren't they? Because they are the measures only of our own preoccupation, our own self-clinging, and how to move beyond that into real life, real living, real action is our challenge, and our privilege. So one of the questions that I have today, and let's start with not so much the good news, but where the challenge is could you see where and what blocked you, numbed you, distracted you? Could you see what it was? What was the object of your own mind that got in the way, that stepped in, that went, no, not sticking with this, I'm over there, where it's juicier, more interesting, or safer, less demanding, we can often feel, can't we? Like, well, this just feels like too much. Can you name that thing for yourself? You can name that on chat. What is that thing that got in the way? Could you feel it? Could you see it? Could you give it a name? These are very important as we identify the hindrances, these falsely believed thoughts that climb in right there, get in, become what? Obscuration are the words that the Buddha used. Obstacle, the dark cloud in front of the bright sun of loving kindness and compassion. Let's see what we understand about that. Yes, thank you so much. Tom, you want to come on and talk about that, Tom? Because I've been doing some work with this issue myself. I've been trying to stay close, like you are, to my own prejudice. And my prejudice is, of course, the prejudice against the white supremacist. I'm noticing that, and the fears about it that are so alive for me. I'm wondering what that experience was for you.
Yeah. So, I wasn't anticipating it at all. It was literally within the last probably 3 minutes of the meditation, and it was just this wave of God, it's just that almost a wave of grief and a sense of suffering.
Yes.
Because I don't know how else someone can behave so awfully and just
well, you do know, because you just touched into it.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I do.
That grief, that suffering is how it happens. That is how it happens. And
Mhm.
the grief of what? The grief of the world I imagined, the
Yeah.
grief of the safety I thought I would be guaranteed, the grief
Mhm.
of a world I thought would always favor me. Uh,
Mhm.
right? That's the grief you felt. That is exactly what I think does happen. And the pain and the suffering and the fear that also comes up around that, right? That you can imagine
Yeah.
and that you likely feel, Tom, as it relates, for me, I know this, for the fear of what happens if that wins. I
Yeah.
go into
Yeah.
fear at times, like, oh my God, what if that wins out? Now I know better at some other level, and I
Mhm.
know that this ultimately is the way, uh, but I forget. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things I'll name as a primary hindrance is that we in some way see that other, that white supremacist, as separate from our own fears, as
Mhm.
separate from our own genuine wanting, safety, happiness, ease, or well being, and think they're there when in fact, here it is alive in me with the supremacist, where I go, I don't know, maybe there's no compassion that works here. Maybe their understanding is not going to be the way. I agree, by the way. I don't think alone.
Mhm.
It isn't just feeling for the other, but it is the right beginning. So thank you. You jumped right into that well of suffering. And that's where compassion comes from, by the way. You
Yeah,
can't
absolutely.
feel compassion without knowing the suffering,
Mhm.
just like you did. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate the sharing of that. I'm going to move on only because I see some people responding to that and I want to stay in contact. Yes. Vulnerability, that's right. Can we touch into it, even though it doesn't make sense to us, even though the solution is certainly not violence, anger, aggression, or prejudice? We know it by heart, but we end up cultivating it against the very things we then see as the problem. And like right now it's you. You think it's them. I think it's you. Now we all are in separation and disconnect once again. White supremacy is discussed so well in the book Caste. Yes, it is. Good read and eye-opening. Yes, like white privilege, there's a couple of those, and Caste is inspiring, isn't it? Good read and eye-opening. Yeah, we need that compassion now. And yes, we do. But what did you hear me say? We can't have compassion. Not really. It's a great idea, though, without first making contact with that suffering. And the way I know that suffering is to make contact with that in me, my own rejection, my own find another way, you dopes, my own violence is never the solution, and my own aggression against it. My own aggression. Can we make contact in this way and then say, yes, I'm beginning to understand because I feel it too. I'm afraid too. I'm imagining that my worldview is completely threatened too, just like the others. And it is. It is correct. So thank you. 20 breaths goes a long way. Yes, we've been practicing these breaths 20 in the morning, 20 in the evening, 20 throughout the day. Can we create a circle of love in those 20 breaths? First, breathing to stay in contact ourselves and then to expand it where we can. I asked the question, what the answer? Where did you notice the obstructions? Now, again, remember, I noticed it because I like to put the obstruction on the other guy. That's one of my favorite. If only you weren't a dope, then I could love you. I could be compassionate, be kind, right? This is one of our sneaky because it comes with a lot of self-righteousness. I notice it comes with a lot of belief thought that if only you could be more like me, I could love you. Yeah, right? Exactly. What did you notice? What got in your way? Perceptions of deficiency. Where did you put that? In yourself or the other? The belief thought that there is not enough. This is one of our brain hindrances. If I give you half my banana, I won't have enough banana. I'm reciting a quote from my 4-year-old brother at the time, who was asked to share the banana that given with his twin, identical twin, right? And he said, well, I don't, because if I give him the banana, then I won't have that whole banana for myself. There it is, isn't it? That's a part of our believed thought, falsely believed thought. What else gets in the way? Let's name them.
So, I noticed, Diane, oh, sorry. There we go. Simple distraction coming up as an obstruction. You know, I feel as if I'm at a point in which discursive thoughts don't typically pose a big problem or challenge just in seated practice. But when I was trying to tap into the heart space, and I'm trying to think, you know, I'm reviewing it and trying to think if it was particularly challenging it at any one of the stages.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe in offering love to myself was the most challenging, but my defenses came up in just like a tidal wave of distractions, like thoughts about some Netflix special, thoughts about, you know, what I'm going to eat after this whole thing is over, thoughts about this, thoughts about that. And it was like, okay, like clearly this tidal wave is coming as a defense mechanism. It's because I'm afraid to feel love for myself, right?
Yes, yes. Could
So
you include that in your circle, Anthony, then, when you saw what might be the distraction, let's just say, could you have the distraction in the circle of love?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. What was the question?
Could you include that very distraction, that very defense mechanism, that very protection, and the believed vulnerability that you believed you needed the protection for? Could you include that in the circle of love?
Yes, yeah, and when you offered that instruction at some point, it was really helpful. It was just to reframe it, like, and this too, like love the distraction, love the mind that's putting up all these defenses.
Yeah, love the vulnerability that thought it needed them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, isn't it true? And this is the practice. And by the way, I want to really reassure everyone, these are not about special feelings. Be watchful. This is one of our, I think, a great hindrance, is that it should feel differently. What did I say to Tom? Yes, you had to touch suffering first before you could know compassion, which is why it came at the end. It didn't come at the beginning where I was just sending out light and love. No, what's the truth? We actually have to make contact with the reality and the experience of suffering ourselves in order to be able to hold it in both intention, attention, embrace it, and then actually in some way take ownership. Me too. The supremacist in me, right, that wants those others to be like me, or like I think it ought to be, or like less something or more something. That in me, that's looking for relief, for safety in that wish. And then, right, the hardened heart, the deadened heart, the numbed heart, the distracted heart, the closed off heart, the under the covers heart in us all. Can we include that also? Yeah. What else? What else? I need to allow my heart to speak, yes, and not my head. Thank you, Dennis. I think it's so true, but we don't make contact with the heart enough to let it speak. We're gonna, just like Anthony said, we're spinning around in what about this and what about that? And if it's raining, what would be a convenient day, right? Be pretty inconvenient to get under that bridge and offer oatmeal today, or McDonald's breakfast sandwiches today, because it's wet out there, pretty inconvenient. I want you to think about this in terms of your own offerings. I asked you to pay attention and in Tuesday to offer one act of kindness beyond your fear-based mind. Like, right? What happened with that? What did you notice? One act of kindness, not just any, one act of kindness beyond the script, beyond the narrative, beyond the storyline that says inconvenient, I can't, it's not good enough. Maybe I won't have enough for myself. What did you notice about that? Anybody take that risk? Well, that's okay, because we're going to take it today. Aren't we? We're going to take it today. The exquisite risk, really, isn't it, of making an offer beyond my own limited storyline, beyond my own belief thoughts that it's not enough, my own belief thought that maybe you're not enough. Isn't it true? And what else gets in the way? That today is the day to begin that practice, to offer something beyond the script that says, I've got to pull in, I've got to, right? Getting food to a friend, yep, just had her hip replaced, yep. What are you moving beyond there, Dennis? What's the risk that you're going beyond? What's the storyline that you're going to climb over? Because it's only us we're climbing over. It's never the other. Stepping over another's not a possibility. We're just stepping over ourselves. What do we have to get over in order to show up? Who's got a thought about that? Ourselves, yes. What about ourselves? Self-centeredness. What about me? Isn't it true? The story, what about me? And I love the inconvenient truth of kindness. It's true. It's not so convenient. It means you gotta get dressed. You gotta go out. You gotta buy the stuff. You gotta, right? Take time. And in our distractedness, Anthony said, thank you, Anthony, again, we often don't even get to recognize the objects that are in the way because we're caught in the stream of just what about this and then what about that? And then I got to this and then I got to that. And now, look what she just did. Now she's putting this other demand on me. Now I got to climb over me to get to some offering, some act of kindness, compassion, patience, care, forgiveness, right? Generosity, it's endless. It's endless. I got to put down a resentment, maybe, to get over there. I've got to forgive me or another to get over there. I've got to give up believed thoughts about me or the other to get over there. What else? This is all the stuff. What else are we noticing? That it has to be perfect. Thank you. This is that not enoughness in disguise. Isn't it a disguise? Lisa, you want to come on and talk about this? The disguise is Glenda has to appear.
Yes.
It has to be Glenda. It can't be the Wicked Witch, the one that I really am afraid I am. It has to be Glenda. So I've got to get up in that attic and get my costume before I can do it, right? What do you know about this, Lisa?
No, lots. Yes, it just, that it has to go a certain way, that it has to be big, you know,
Pretty.
it has to be pretty, can't be messy, it can't come out clunky, you know, just a whole set of things that make you stop in your tracks versus just bringing good intention.
That's right. Living it,
Yeah,
whatever, right? So maybe it won't have tomatoes. Maybe I don't have the crown. You know, I like this
Yeah.
thing. Maybe the wand isn't available. Maybe, and again, I'm using the metaphor of Glenda
Yes.
the Egg Witch because she's my fairy wishing mother. But like, I wish I could always be Glenda. Ha ha. Don't believe it. Isn't it perfect? It's got to look a certain way. Thank you. It's got to be presented. I love the idea of order. Don't we all? I want it to be lined up. I want to know exactly where it is, how to get it there, and do it in a timely way. I want to make sure that they really like. I have stopped making people food ridiculously because I was worried they wouldn't like the capers. They didn't like that. Maybe they don't eat that. What about if blah, 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 blah. Right? Can't we climb in the way? We had a little discussion as a board. Let me use the other side of this, that maybe it was too much. Maybe maybe there are too many lunches. What do we do if there are too many lunches? Where do the lunches go? I was actually concerned about waste, right? What do we do with that? That could potentially be an obstacle, couldn't it? If I went, well, you know, let's only do half because really we don't even know if they're going to eat it. It can be an obstacle. What differentiates now? This is a really nice question, and then I know we need to wrap. I want you to hold this question for consideration. What's the difference between wisdom and a hindrance? We can't answer today. We'll look at it on Tuesday. What's the difference between wisdom, the wisdom and knowing, and the hindrance that stops us in our tracks? We're going to ask that question. Know the difference. What is it between wisdom and the hindrance itself that will always get in the way? We'll look at that on Tuesday in our real change as we look at agency, being an agent of change, being an action, living the verb, as Thich Nhat Hanh used to say, love is a verb. How do we enliven, embody, and then make it real? And I want you to do it today. Today's the day. I want you to step over your belief thought. I want you to recognize what it is because it'll be useful to bring to awareness. And I want you to climb right over it, take the exquisite risk of being most loving, most you, most present in whatever way you do. I'd like you to take a note about that because we're going to talk about it on Tuesday and again next Saturday with that reflection question. What's the difference? How is it manifested differently between wisdom and the hindrance? Okay, here we are together. Let's take just a moment to gather ourselves. We're letting go of all thoughts now. In fact, the answers don't come from there. So if you're rah, 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 maybe this, maybe that, let that go. It comes in being lived and paying attention to what we're living. And so establishing a moment of stillness, of ease. Remembering and opening that God indwelling, that goodness, that kind and caring attention. It's all the same. And directing it for these last moments to ourselves. Let it touch in and then pour out. May we be healthy. May we be safe. May we live with ease. May we trust, have faith and confidence in our own goodness and take the exquisite risk of making it live. May we do so today and now and always. So be it. Thank you so much. You've already taken an exquisite risk by being willing to be here with yourself, with your own open heart, with your own vulnerability, with your own investigation of your own hindrances, and even the willingness to speak them. How beautiful. Thank you all so much. Blessings to you on this day and in this exquisite risk of being not only alive, but loving. Thank you so much. Blessings to you all. Thank you. Thank you all. I look forward to seeing you on Monday evening for practice, if not Tuesday morning for the Real Change Book Club. If not that, I think Greg said he's going to do one more Thursday. Since I was not able to get everyone online this Thursday, that was on me, folks. It had nothing to do with Greg. Please join him for our final Thursday morning practice. And then we're going to be investigating a gentle movement and meditation practice, Liz and I together. We're going to look for a time and a space, probably in closer to before dinner time. That's what we're trying for anyway. We'll see what happens with that. But that's going to be an exquisite risk for me because I'm really bad at that stuff, but I'm very excited to do it in the support of Liz. So I'm looking forward to that. Be well, everyone. Take good care. Please look for the post tomorrow, Sunday, for the donations. They're being matched. So make your contribution. It counts for more for the Healthy Meals Project for our healthcare workers. That's an important action that we need to take. We need to support those who support us in unlimited, unconditional ways every single day. And I look forward to joining you in that project. We'll talk more about it on Tuesday. I think we need to include some letters there, some thank you letters. We'll talk about that on another day though. Be well, everyone. Love to you. Have an exquisite day.